Hello, this is Sizwe podcast, and today I am here again with my co-host Patricia. And Patricia, can you introduce our guest?
Hi, Agnes.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Today we have none other than our usual host. We always have fun with this man. So today we have Joseph Luri with us. And Agnes, what's the topic today?
We are talking about divorce. And guys, it is one of the serious issues that has wrecked most of our African homes in recent times. And Joseph, as a community person, he has dealt with a lot of this issue. We are not counselors. We don't counsel people, but it is an issue in our community as African immigrants, and we want to bring it out and talk about it. So today we are talking about divorce rates. Why are divorce happening so rampantly in our African homes, in the African community? That is the big elephant in the room.
And those communities are in the diaspora. Mostly we are focusing on communities in the diaspora.
Yes.
And we are just seeing divorce all over. So what is happening with our communities? What is wrong?
When
Joseph,
we come here.
Would you help us with that?
Yeah, unfortunately, the divorce has become a very big elephant in the room that it has done more harm than good. So divorce itself has happened with so many reasons and still continues to happen with so many reasons. One of the reasons is culture shock, where we come all from our countries of origin into the first world, and the conditions in which we live become a little bit more favorable in a way that we define freedom to us.
Yes.
For example, you take the child tax benefit that has caused a lot of problem in the house, and it has resulted into real divorces. And so that is something that I, who come from Africa in my country in South Sudan, we don't have that. We don't have a child tax benefit. There's even nothing like child support. And so when our women who are not probably working, who are not learning to come here and find that they have more money coming into their hands, and they feel that, well, this man is of no use because this may be a man who had qualifications and doesn't have the job he used to have and doesn't bring the income he used to bring. And so it's more or less look at just a little boy in the house.
Wow.
That's one of those dangerous culture shock stuff. Another is also the issue of us getting engaged in all bringing bread on the table.
Yes.
And so we have had women who work more hours, and at the end of the month and at the end of the year comes almost with 1.5 or twice what the gentleman is able to bring to the house.
Wow.
And so she feels that this is a burden because culturally the man is to provide. But now this is an environment here where this culture collides with the culture that we came with.
Yes.
And that is another issue. Another is retaliation. We have had families who have who have broken apart and become dysfunctional because the wife just said, okay, you have been beating me all these years and now you can't touch me. And when I see you, I don't have love for you and I'm gone. And so really the family breaks down. And so in that retaliation, we forget even that we have kids. And even if you walk out of this marriage, you are not going to give birth to a kid who is already a teenager. But unfortunately, they are the most unfortunate assets to be sacrificed. The other one is a dangerous thing that we don't talk about, that men who have qualifications and have their certificates and not recognized here go to work. And where the work is a little heavy, when they come home, now they just want to rest, recover, and go the next morning to work so they can bring bread on the table. But unfortunately, some of these women would also turn around and say, well, you know what? I'm not your sister, so I need a real husband. And she's out of the door, or you are out of the door. The other one is also has to do with the men who have some little money in the hand and goes to social places. men beginning to cheat. And so with the one wife, one husband concept here, as opposed to the concept where I'm coming from, as many wives as you can, the women become upset. And indeed, it is true for them to protect themselves. Who knows whether I am going to bring a disease?
Yes.
You know, so it is important. And what message are we sending? In that relationship out there, you are spending money. Why don't you spend on your family? So these are some of those few reasons why the divorce has gone, so skyrocketed up
In our
communities, and especially our black community.
Awesome. Guys, if you just join us, this is Sizwe Podcast. I'm here with Patricia, and we are talking to Joseph Luri. Joseph Luri is a community person. His children tells me our father is a celebrity, and he doesn't even know. But we are talking about divorce. I want to go back and pick the various points that Joseph have listed, and we will talk about it in details. First, he said the child support that when we come here and we have our children here, or we bring our children here, the government gives to the woman. That has been one of the reasons why women get divorced. Second is when you will remind me when I forgot anyways. So what I remember is what I'm saying. If you are a man and because of the nature of your job, you go to work, you get tired, and you come home, and I'm asking you for sex, and you are like, I'm tired. That woman will run away one day because she's not your sister. And thirdly, when we women come here, back home, our men were the breadwinners. They bring the money home. They do everything. And sometimes we don't even work. We have never seen a paycheck before. Then when we come here and we begin to work, and the paycheck is coming to me and it's coming to the man. After all, if you are not taking care of me again, I have the money. Probably I married you because of the money that you were giving to me. And now I also have the same money, so I don't have any need of man. 4, Joseph says that those of you who used to beat your wife at home, back home, and even if I run to my parents and tell my dad that my husband is beating me, he will push me back to the relationship and like, go. But when we come here, I'm like, okay, here you cannot touch me. If you touch me, I'll call the police. And if I don't call the police, I'll tell you, leave my house. And that has been some of Patricia. That's what I remember. But I will bring Joseph back to talk more about the child support. Did I miss something?
You didn't. You missed one that women are getting more money here.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The women are getting about 2 or 3 paycheck.
Yes. But he spoke about child benefits.
Yes.
Why is the child benefits
being a cost and not a blessing?
A blessing. Yes.
Yeah, Joseph.
Well, the child tax benefit, instead of being a blessing in the house, has become a curse because either both parents or one of the parents has failed to understand why the government is giving us this child tax benefit.
I don't even know.
So this child tax benefit, if you have 5 kids and every kid, gets $300, you are here at $1,500.
You make more money than somebody who is going to get up and go to work every day.
Yeah,
exactly. And so this money becomes misused. Instead of helping the child fill the bag with some food or lunch and helping this child with some clothing, and if there is extra, you put it up as something saved for the education.
Towards the education, yes.
We turn around and we become teenagers and we take the place of the teenagers. And now we want a lot of these other luxuries that really has not even clicked in our mind. Just because others are doing it, I am going to do it. There is money. And you are taking the wrong money. And so conflicts becomes real. The other fact is with this child tax benefit, with the husband who has come to this country with certificates and not recognized and is trying to look for something that would bring reasonable money, they feel bad asking money that give me $20, I'm going to Tim Hortons to sit with my friends.
Yes.
So that communication that is lost needs to be restored. And so it questions as to how do we care for ourselves. I know you have needs. I know I have needs. So as I control this money, can I give you a little to go out there and just socialize with your friends? So these are very bitter areas.
Yeah, so automatically, because the child tax benefit comes to the women and they control it, and the man feels so like he lost his pride to ask me to give him some of the child tax benefit, even if he needs it. And I control it. And I remember a story where a woman told the husband that if you think the child tax benefit is going to be the one that you are always going to dip your hands in it, then the two of us are going to have. And like you said, it ended up in a divorce.
Yeah. So a lot of education around that is quite needed.
Yes.
As to how we can use that money. Also with the men, how you can communicate and ask from your wife. This is your partner. You don't have to be, ashamed of asking, because the resource is in the house here. So you just take the step to ask. This house or the room is not going to shout and say, Joseph today is begging money from the wife. It's not begging. This is our resources.
Yes.
I'm asking for it.
Yeah. But you know the ego. Yeah. The African man's ego. That also comes in when you are asking your wife for
money, because he's used to being a provider.
Yes, yeah. And that has resulted in, and then we talk about...
He also spoke about women making more money. But when it comes to making more money, most of us as women, we come here, we do 2-3 jobs. I find that most men, they are not willing to do 2-3 jobs. They're doing, if you want to work too much, it's on you.
There's a TED show I watched, and they said men are single, like they can't multitask.
Yes.
I think I watched something like that.
Yeah, and then when we end up bringing more money, then it becomes a problem, because I'll go for 2 jobs, and then you decide to go for 1 job. And then when I bring more money, it becomes a problem that I am making more money than you. Some of these problems, we cannot say it's the women who are creating them. I think we have to adjust, both of us. It's not like it's the women who are saying, you stay at home, or maybe you are playing games, or maybe you are on the phone and not doing the second job while I'm going for my second job. Yeah, it's really, yeah.
Guys, if you just join us, this is Sizwe Podcast, and today we are talking about some of the challenges that we know 1, 2, 3, or 5 family members or community members who used to be partners or married couple, and for one reason or the other, there is divorce, and it's taking a lot of effects. And today we are not even going through the effects. We are looking at some of the causes that, if we were back home, maybe that wouldn't have been the cause. Once that we say we have come to the first country, now we have access to a lot of things. Most of these things has become a blessing. Patricia, so you talk about the woman making more money.
Yes.
And instead of it being a blessing, it has become
a curse.
A curse again.
Yes.
Very good. And then we also talk about, Joseph, you talk about retaliation. So is it just because you were beating me back home, or because you are still beating me here?
Well, it's because the woman has been, assaulted and on several occasions back from the country of origin, and feels that really now it is time for me to be free. Here, again, the look is this man may not be able to provide now as he was able to provide. The family, the extended family, is no more there to say, this family cannot break down. They must be one family regardless of what is happening. It's a question of freedom and choice. And so the choice that would be made is, I'm not willing to, take my time with you. And like you say, it is tied sometimes to the income, that most men are busy yapping on the phone or talking politics from back home that they cannot change. It doesn't help.
He is talking to somebody.
If you are interested, you join the politics here, because this is where you can impact anything. But back home, you are not in power. You have no influence. You're not in the parliament. And so this woman sees and says, oh, so you are going for coffee or for some beer and talking politics, and I'm going to another job. Okay. You are not going to be the guy I really need. And that's it.
That's it. Yes. Yeah, I think it's very, very, very sad that most of these marriages that we even looked up to them finally end up in divorce, and these are some of the causes of the divorce. There's more money. Who should get the divorce when there's more money? But people are getting divorced because there's more money, there's more child support, there's more, the woman is making more money, and it doesn't really make any sense. But these are some of the challenges. We are going to talk about the effect of these challenges, but I want Joseph to talk more about the issue of the man working so hard. Even you, the woman, you are also taking 2 or 3 jobs. What time do the two of you have for yourself? You said, I can't live in the same bedroom with my brother.
Well, definitely there is always time. People only have to make that time for themselves. In most cases, the 2 partners don't work 7 days. Mm-hmm. And so this was a question that was posed by one of the moms who said, well, today we are all home and it's off, and in the evening I have to go work. Our kids are gone to school. Show your manhood to me.
Wow.
And the man says, okay, it's daylight, come on, we don't do this kind of stuff. And so you are depriving this person of the right and at least the enjoyment.
Yes.
And so that is the core purpose of the marriage. Before we think about kids, before we think about anything,
yes,
it was looking at the lady and say, "How you're so beautiful, you got to be mine."
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And with this kind of behavior, then it opens a lot of windows that are really quite unnecessary. One of the things also that we have realized is even when you bring these 2 parties together, when things explode, they would have built those differences over a period of time. In most cases,
yes,
individuals, elders, the community fails to put them around the table and say, let us dialogue and have a second chance.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is a big problem.
Patricia?
Also, one thing that I realize, it is the change. For most African men, especially the ones who are kind of older, back home they were revered.
Yes, oh yeah.
And then there was this thing that you would make food, make supper, you go and serve him.
Yeah.
You cook. And then you find the man is still waiting for you. You are both working. We come from work at the same time, and then you come and sit, I come and cook.
You are my wife.
Yeah, but at the same time, we are both working.
Yes.
Whereas in Africa, we had the privilege that we had extended family.
Yes.
We had helpers.
We have access to helpers. Very
yes.
good.
And we had
Yes.
access to, we call them garden boys, which is not nice.
Yes.
But we have access to all those things.
Yes.
And then now we come here, only one person has to work.
You are the cook, you are the cleaner, you are the gardener, you are everything.
Yes.
So that, I understand. Yes, but
well, one of the issues that probably we have left behind is also the issue of arranged marriages. So those arranged marriages are more or less like forced marriages. It's between my parents and the parents of the lady. Really, we have vacuum in this relationship, in this love. And so when we drop here, we don't have love for each other.
No.
It was just arranged. Maybe one of these families had some wealth and the other parent on the other side want that wealth to be shared.
Yeah, so they married their daughter into or their son into that marriage.
Yes, and so these arranged marriages have also done a lot of damage because people have no feelings for each other because they really didn't choose themselves.
Interesting.
That's interesting. I didn't think that still exists.
Now that he said it, I have come across most of these marriages that has lots of challenges. For example, I know a couple that the guy was here and the family married the girl and they brought the girl to him here. So that is mostly like it was a distant arrangement. They actually did everything and the lady came here, they've lived, and after 10 years, everything fell apart. And it's because maybe when she came, they had the kids. But now that love is not there. Guys, if you just join us, this is Sizwe podcast. Joseph said something that is very poignant in this discussion. Back home, we have the family background, like the support from the family. But here, when there's an issue in our marriage, there's no family member that we go to talk to for them to sit us down. The next call we make is the 911 or to the police or to ask the guy, leave my house. I like that statement.
Now it becomes your house.
No, leave my house or else I'll call the police.
Yeah.
When we are going through this, have we thought about the consequences that brings to us and to the children and to the family and to the community? And I want us to take our discussion to that level now. What are some of the consequences? We know some of them.
Definitely, there are grave consequences. One of those consequences is the stress level that each of these parents is going to go through, regardless of whether you are the mom or you are the dad. All those good memories come back to haunt each and every of these members. And so everyone goes under stress.
Yes.
We have seen, and it's worse for the mom because the kids are to be left with the mother.
Yes.
And then the dad has to prepare now to pay child support if it escalates to, the higher situation. And so imagine that you have these 5 kids or even 3 kids.
Yeah.
If one is a boy, how does a mom develop a relationship with a boy and be able to provide guidance? That is difficult. Now, mom is working 2 jobs. Who is going to parent these kids so that they know the value of the family and they believe in those values that would keep us together? So that is challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 that comes would be on the children itself. Now they have no role models. They can pick anybody to be their role model.
Yes.
And so in most cases, those are dangerous picks. And so we end up hearing kids have resorted to drinking because they're teenagers, especially those who have reached the age of 18, that they are adults, they can access any bar, they can access anything.
Yeah.
It becomes a big deal.
Smoke, yes.
And so consequently, with a lot of this drinking and getting involved in drug consumption or abuse, overdose comes into play. And then all of a sudden we hear this child is dead. And so that is the consequence. But yet, because of our stubbornness, we are not prepared even to dialogue and come back and say, let's save what is left of us.
Yes.
So that is the consequence. Another consequence is the shame that you carry, that you are a single parent and what happened. So here it is normalized.
Yeah.
But then you find
Joseph, let me come in here. When I came here, with I get pushed back every time somebody introduces themselves and they say, my name is this, I am a single parent. And in my head, I'm like, why is that person wearing that as a badge? Because back home, to be a single parent, it's like bringing shame to yourself. And when you said that, it just reminded me when I came here. But now, I have gotten into the groove.
Yeah, we have gotten situations where people have stayed here for so long, they are not able to go home because there's going to be a question arising. What are your kids doing there? How are they doing? And so you cannot answer this question. And the kids that were left behind and the little ones have grown up. In most cases, they've even gone through college. They are doing a lot better. And so you don't want that heartache because all you have done is come here and offset your kids for a better life for yourself.
Yes.
So you are selfish already.
Yes.
You see? So, the shame, it's so big.
It's so
that you want to hide because there is no pride. You can talk about, I'm a single parent, I'm this. But deep inside the heart and the mind, the level of fire that is going on there, nobody can put it off.
And also the shame is not only for the mother and father. The shame is carried by the children. Most kids, they don't even want to say that I'm from a single parent home. They hide that from their friends. And when they ask, where's your dad? There are those meetings where you have to go to school.
Yes.
And only one parent comes.
Yes.
And it's a shame to the kids. They don't tell their friends. So as
they become agitated too, like especially when they are teenagers. When their friends make fun of them about that, it leads into a lot of issues. And I think Joseph, I want us to, maybe we will end this discussion here because we can't go through all the the challenges. But let's talk about the stress. It is not just about stress. What has this stress brought to most of these people who claim they are divorced?
Well, the stress escalates into depression.
Yes.
And with the men, most of the men feel that if you are going for counseling to get some help, it's like you've lost your manhood. And so they don't go for counseling.
They don't, yes.
A lot of the women would be the ones who would want to go for counseling, but also they get glued to these 2 jobs or 3 jobs. And so those places of job becomes a hibernation places. And so along the road as you drive, sometimes you are absent-minded, crossing through red lights, or speeding where the speed limit is a little lower. And so it even brings, deaths and so on.
Yes.
So it is really very, very devastating. Keeping the family together is very important. But yet, even if you divorce, it is important that the 2 parents should have some relationship and some friendship to support these kids to grow. Let's not be enemies, you see.
Patricia, we will bring the curtains to a close soon.
Does it happen for people to be close? Because most of the time, the struggle is that we already have the distance us already, and now we have the challenges of child support. And I tell you,
that discussion doesn't really go well at all.
Yes,
especially with the men. Yeah, so that closeness that Joseph is talking about, that let's stay close for the sake of the children, doesn't really it doesn't work in our African community. And let me say that I've seen a lot of other people in the Caucasian community where they are divorced, and for some reason they keep the friendship.
Yes,
for
exactly.
the sake of
the children.
The kids. I don't see that a lot in our community. We've spoke only about one of the challenges of divorce in our Black community. That is the stress. There's a lot that we cannot deal with right now. I'll let Patricia speak, and Joseph will give his last word for today, and we'll come back to this topic another time.
You know what I want us to talk about more? Next time is the 2-3 jobs. Why are our men not doing that? And
why are women doing 2-3
and
jobs?
why are women doing 2-3 jobs?
So we also
both have problems, eh? So those problems we have to address as a people.
As one of the causes of lot of divorce in our community.
Yeah, and the expectations that we create for ourselves,
yes,
that are unnecessary.
We are working to send the money to that. You know that thing that we talk
yes,
about
exactly.
The black tax.
Yes,
the
yes.
The black tax is also killing our
marriages,
desire
our
to
lives,
enjoy our husband. So you don't get tired, and your husband get tired. You say, I'm so tired. You are so tired. You are so tired. You are so tired. One day you kill the marriage. Yes.
Yes. My appeal to both partners is that for every situation and problem or challenge, there is a solution.
Awesome.
We only need to take out our ego and remember that we created children in this relationship. We created love in this relationship.
Yes.
And so we need to notice it. If it has come to a situation that we cannot be in love anymore,
go for
but
vacation.
We can still be in relationship and be able to support these children grow. I've seen parents accusing and counter-accusing themselves to the kids. And so we become like window curtains. And so we shouldn't allow our kids to look at us as window curtains.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. And thank you all for joining us today. We will come back on this topic. It's big. It's the biggest elephant in our community right now. And we have to find a way to fix it. Else our kids are looking at us and they don't want to get married because of what relationship we are putting out there in our homes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.